Hello everybody and welcome to Pravus Gaming and Oxygen Not Included. It has been a very long time since I last played this game. Some of you guys might remember the frigid ant farm we had back during the thermal upgrade era of the game. Well, since then we have had a lot of new content added into Oxygen Not Included, including the Outbreak update, the Automation update, the Ranching and Farming, the Cosmic update, and now we have the Expressive upgrade, which completely revamps the duplicant's expectations and replaces it with a new morale system, which will be pretty interesting to see how it turns out. I'm really eager to get back into this. Again, it's been a very long time. I've tried to keep track of some of the changes the best I can, but obviously the game has gotten a lot more complicated, and it's going to take me a little bit of time to get spun up. But let's go ahead and start up a new game and see how well we fare. Okay, now here's a team I think I can kind of work with. One of the major changes you might notice is the interests mechanic down here, which has to do with the new job system that was added into the game. Professions, occupations, that kind of a thing. Now, you still have the attributes and traits as you did before, and it used to be that you really wanted to focus on getting some really strong stats in, let's say, digging, cooking, learning, stuff like that at the very beginning of the game, and that is still very helpful if you can get it. But I would actually argue that it is possible that the interests are more important in the long term, because that is what's going to determine what career you put somebody in, at least ideally it will, and how quickly they get better at that job. Attributes you can level up, but interests I don't think can ever change. So what I've done here is I found somebody who wants to be a builder, for example, and has a little bit of construction skill, which will help him along. Also, he has some skill in a few other things, which we might be able to use. Some traits I can handle, such as irritable bowel. It's annoying, but we can deal with it. Iron gut is very good. We also have someone who wants to be a digger and has some skills already in that, and we do want that in the early game. And then somebody who wants to be a researcher but has a little bit of learning skill. We could keep shuffling until you get like the perfect role, but I mean, really, how often is that going to happen? And obviously, I did name all of my duplicants after the patrons who are supporting me and their Discord handles. So those of you who are already patrons, you might very well find yourself inside of my asteroid. God save your soul. All right, for the name of the colony, we are going to call it the Dupe Troupe. Let's embark. All right, here we are in the middle of nowhere. That's not disconcerting at all. I've awakened trapped inside an asteroid with a crew of 3 duplicants. Resources are scarce. I can't remember how we got here. I'll need to help the duplicants survive if we're going to find answers. Let's begin. All right, so looking at this area, a lot of wide open space and a whole bunch of shine bugs, which I don't really know exactly what they're good for aside from just providing some light sources, but that's not always a bad thing. Bit of water down here, not too bad. We have a few mealwood plants sitting around, which means we can get some seeds. More open space further down here. A little bit of food, some copper. Not a ton of copper, but some. This is actually not a terrible starting location. I can kind of work with this. All right, let's go ahead and assign some dig orders. One of the first things that we are going to want to do, probably, it is set up some sort of a simple latrine system. And that actually is going to be important that we place them all in the same area, because there's a new room system that was added into the game. Not too long ago, I think a couple of expansions ago, but now it's actually more important with the Expressive update. If you have a sealed-off area, that is, it's enclosed, it has doors, anything like that, and place the correct amenities inside of those rooms, you will get some sort of a bonus. For example, if we get ourselves some toilets and a wash station in this area with no industrial machinery, we can have a latrine which actually gives a morale bonus, which has to do with the stress and the mood and everything else. I'm not too sure how morale scales and how it's different from stress, but it is going to be interesting to find out. So let's go ahead and start digging out this area. I don't need controls. What do you think I am, some sort of a scrub? I've played this game before. Granted, it's been a long time, and I'm probably terrible at it now. But we'll figure it out. It's going to be fine. Who's worried? I'm not worried about nothing. Go ahead and dig all this nonsense out. Yeah, okay, so I do see some bristleberries that are growing. That'll be great. A fair bit more mealwood, which we can certainly use. And a lot of oxygen up top. Lots of oxygen. What the crud is this? Ooh, automation stuff. Tile weight plates. Automation wires. There's some sort of an AND gate. Ooh, I don't know what's here. I've never actually seen this before, but that'll be fun to get to. Something worth exploring eventually, right? I think so. All right, we're just going to go ahead and dig our way pretty much all the way over to, I think, like, let's say here. Although we won't actually be able to dig granite until we have a proper miner assigned, and that goes to the job system that I was talking about a little bit ago, so that'll be fun. These guys are having some problems with oxygen, eh? Already? I guess you are kind of far. Don't worry, the gases will work their way over to you. You'll breathe soon enough. Just hold it in for a little bit longer, okay? You'll be fine. let's go ahead and work on our plumbing. We want to set up this outhouse pretty much as soon as we can. I'll leave a couple of spaces for some compost piles, but if we can place, let's say, a couple outhouses like this, that'll be good. And then we can place a couple of wash basins right over, let's say, here. And what this will do, if we can build it up and get some water source, which, by the way, is right down here, how convenient, we'll be able to have people wash their hands before they leave the bathroom, which means we can't spread the germs, because that is also an important new mechanic in the game. I say new. This stuff has been around for a while. I'm just new to it because I haven't played in forever. All right, let's see. We do want to get ourselves some ladders down to, I think, about here. Dig our way through some of this and place maybe a pitcher pump right over here if we can. Yeah, this should do. No longer can duplicants just go and gather up water, put it in a bottle on their back, and then drop it wherever you need. You actually have to have a pitcher pump to put it into some sort of a container, which is why we're going to place one of those. Now, for the wash basin, we are going to set the direction to be left, and what this means is after someone uses the outhouse and wants to go this direction, they have to wash their hands first and get the germs all off of them. I'm also going to go ahead and build out a couple of tiles like this. Not one there, that's not quite what I wanted. And a pneumatic door, and what this is going to do is seal it off and automatically create a bathroom, which will give us a morale bonus, which is awesome. Now everyone's taking a little break right now, and this is a new thing that was also added in with the Expressive update. The day is actually now split up into your work hours and your leisure hours, so right now everyone's on downtime, which means it's an opportunity to go grab some food, use a toilet, and then just hang out and socialize for a little bit, make some friends, you know? They're all taking a break. It's as if they've unionized or something, I don't know, but I don't know who told them. I don't know who told them that life is not simply work and sleep, but whoever they are, you've kind of broken a perfect system. Nightman is just sleeping on the ladder. Now that's not safe right there. I mean, I'm impressed, but that is not at all safe. You should not be doing that. Don't be like Nightman, kids. He's the kind of guy who's going to get himself killed at a very young age. So yeah, already you can see that we do have a latrine room set up with the morale bonus because we have our toilet, wash stations, no industrial machinery, and it is within a certain size. And there is still some room to place some compost piles because I don't think anyone's going to mind taking a dump right next to the actual big dump, so that's not going to upset anyone at all, is it? No, I don't think so. Let's go ahead and get some more ladders going. Probably... How wide is this? Probably wide enough. We're going to go ahead and start building up some ladders up and down these directions. Make sure that we have a wider shaft. About 3 wide is usually preferable for me. Something like that will be fine. There we go. And let's harvest up this bristle blossom, which will be excellent. Okay, so pretty early on, we're going to want to set up some farming. And that means we are going to need to get some research going. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a manual generator. Let's say probably right here, followed by a battery, followed by a research station like so. And, of course, we are going to wire that all up using the blocks so that we don't have a lot of decor penalties. And that way we can at least get started on the research and hopefully gather up some basic farming technology a little bit sooner. The other thing we want to have really early on is going to be a jobs board. Because the jobs board is going to allow people to go ahead and get started with their occupation and their profession a little bit sooner and start getting the XP necessary to level up in their job. Now, the downside of that is the more they progress in their occupation, the more morale perks they're going to expect. A tenured scientist is going to hope for a really nice, swanky digs, you know? He's not going to want to live in some sort of a hovel. What do you think he is, a peasant? Of course not. So we will have to keep up with that, which is going to be a little bit tricky since I don't actually know what I'm doing, but we'll figure it out. I have confidence that we can figure it out. Okay, research station is set. Let's first make sure our priorities are clear. I think it was Nightman who was good for the learning, so let's set him up for research primarily. Sans is mostly a digger, so we'll set him up with that. And Siren Master was kind of good at just about everything for the moment, so we'll kind of let him do his thing. I'm not going to change the prioritization of anything else. Now, one thing I've learned from this game is you really don't want to overload your dupes with too many tasks. I've made that mistake before. But let's go ahead and get started on our research. Now, we could go for the basic farming first. I think instead I'm going to go for the advanced research to get the jobs board and see if we can get that rolling as quick as possible. I've never understood the research in this game, by the way. Why is it exactly that you just use dirt to research? Nobody knows. Also, I don't want anyone else doing research. So, Cyber Master, stop what you're doing. That's Nightman's job, okay? He is the smart one. You're the dumb one. Got it? You understand how this works? Okay, good. We are going to want to get ourselves some sort of a barracks pretty early on if we can. Something a little higher up would be nice so the oxygen kind of flows upwards. There is a room, either the bedroom, which has a single luxury bed, which will be expensive to do, but make people very happy. There's also the barracks, where we can place a whole bunch of simple beds. As long as there's no machinery and it's large enough, they'll be happier. And of course, nobody likes to sleep on the ground. Ooh, a shine nymph egg. You can actually crack open eggs to use as food now. That's a thing. I don't know. Maybe we'll keep these guys around and just eat their little bug eggs. It's disgusting, but if it's nutritious, you can't really complain, can you? Now, where do I want to place my farming? That's a good question. Nowhere near the igneous rock and stuff if I can, and we're surrounded by a lot of it. Oh, wow. That's not typical. Huh. Actually, farming is going to be a little tricky in this game. We might want to put the farming kind of right in the middle here. In this general area. Somewhere where I can control the temperature a little bit better would be nice. Because we don't want our plants to get too warm, or else they won't be able to grow. You have to baby those conditions just right. So yeah, I think that's where we're going to have to do our farming. So maybe we'll do some sort of a barracks like over here to the side. It's still a little bit on the warm side here, but I think we'll be okay. And research is done. Let's move on to the basic farming. We'll probably want to move on to meal preparation sooner rather than later so we can get the farm tiles. Because I think that they are slightly better, only slightly better, than the planter boxes. So we'll do that. Jobs board and supercomputer. Let's place both right over here. Yes? Excellent. Let's also get the wiring going like so. And as soon as you guys build that jobs board, we will be able to assign some proper occupations. Ah, time for a new duplicate. Okay, first let's just double check something. So, you guys were good at what again? Let's look at the priorities here. So, you were good at nothing in particular, but we probably were going to use you as a builder for now. You're okay as a digger, and you're okay as a researcher. I would like to have somebody who is good at either tidying for groundskeeping or farming. Those would be my ideals, but let's see. Farm and cooking, learning, ranching. Yeah, does ranching count as farming? I don't really know. It's not quite what I had in mind, but it's not the worst. Squeamish is okay. We also have athletics, kindness, creativity, and strength. You'd be okay as a hauler. Operating, you'd want tinkering to make that kind of a thing work. I think we're going to have to go for this person, and we're going to rename him to LP Deneo 05. Whatever that's supposed to mean, but whatever. Welcome to the asteroid. Have fun with that. Let's go ahead and change up your priorities. So you are going to be... You're actually okay as a researcher as well. We can go ahead and set that as a high priority for you, at least for now. And then maybe cooking... And I would say tidying or something like that. Sure, that would be fine. Now, here's something new. The water cooler provides a gathering place during leisure time. I've tried placing this down in my test games, and they don't seem to actually congregate around it. I think you might have to build a recreation room, which requires some sort of a recreational building, which I think includes the water cooler, plus a decoration item and no industrial machinery. That is something that would be worth doing just to try and improve morale. Not that I think morale is necessarily that bad right now, so we're probably okay, but even so. That is something we could do. I'm thinking we might turn this general area into a barracks, and then up above, we might try going for like a kitchen and a mess hall or something. Over here, we had plans for the farming, or maybe right down here we can do like a mess hall or something. I don't know. Let's see. Massage clinic, power plant is a thing you can do now. Stable, greenhouse? What's involved in the greenhouse? Farm stations, but it has to be a closed-off room. Crops grown within a greenhouse can be tended by farmers to increase their growth speed. That sounds like something I'm gonna want to do, right? So maybe we do want to turn this general area into my farming space. Maybe? Let's harvest this thing up. That could work. I'm not too sure. I haven't tried building one of those before. Let's go to the research and work on probably meal preparation to get those farm tiles going as quick as we can, because I know that I am going to need them. No researchers assigned. Missing a research station. No. We're fine. We're working on it. Did we? We dropped some sand here. Gosh dang it. Get that out of here. Worthless. Okay. So that's going to be fine. Power so far is sort of okay. Still think we turn this into a general barracks area if I can. To that extent, let's go ahead and get myself a couple of tiles, a pneumatic door, And then some furniture cots. 1, 2, 3, 4 for now. Not a lot of room for decorations, but I guess I have some space for paintings once we start doing things like that. It's gonna be a little while, but we'll do it. Oh, we never actually did assign the jobs. Right, let's do that now. Okay. So, Sans, for some reason, is not showing me what he can do. But he does want to be a miner, and I think he's the best one for the job, so we'll make him into my digger. Cybermaster, we're going to make you my architect. LP Deneo, we'll make you into, I guess my sous chef for now. And Nightman, you're going to be my research assistant. You do need to have a research assistant in order to even use the supercomputer, which is one of the reasons that's so important. So Nightman is the only one now qualified to actually use the supercomputer. Tip morale. Food, rooms, decor, and recreation has an effect. Good experiences improve. If it's below their expectations, that's how they become stressed. Interesting. Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. We can get behind that. One of the other things you'll occasionally see these duplicants doing now is talking to each other and just having a nice little pleasant conversation, making friends, and if they actually are friends with each other, then, you know, they're just like, oh, those two right there, yeah. Yeah, they're just like, hey, what's up, buddy? I know you. We're stuck on an asteroid together. Of course I know you, but still. Anyway, yeah, they like seeing each other. There's a morale boost for being social. Can't say that I fully understand that as a particularly antisocial person myself. That's the sort of thing that would stress me out. I wonder if they're actually going to add in some, like, antisocial traits and stuff later. That could be a thing that we'll see added into the game at some point. I'm not sure yet, but it's all speculation at this point. Would be kind of cool, though. I think one thing I also will want is some sort of a storage room. Something where I can just place a little bit of my junk, right? It doesn't actually have to be a specialized room. We don't have to close it off. Whoops, not what I wanted. Cancel that. That could make sense. And then maybe over here we set this aside to be a recreation room. Aha, that could be kind of fun. There's a couple of pneumatic doors over here. Stations, no. Water cooler. We could place one over here. Then have some sort of decorative items, like a potted plant, and then boom, we've got a recreation room for people to hang out in. That could be good. Look at them disinfect these toilets. Now, personally, I look at that and I think that's probably a whole load of cancerous chemicals that's going to get somebody killed. But okay. Research complete. Let's move on to power regulation so I will be able to build even bigger and better batteries. Everyone seems to be pretty happy with their jobs. I like the little hats. It's a fun little addition into the game there. All right, let's see. This mealwood is ready to go. This one, so I think that mealwood grows faster in farm tiles than they do in the wild. So up to a certain point, if it hasn't grown enough, it's actually worth uprooting this thing and starting over. I think the threshold is like 70%. So this one is probably worth uprooting. The other two, not so much. Okay, so let's try going for some farm tiles. Now, I think we actually could replace some of the tiles down here. Actually, my only concern is that we actually are generating enough heat in this area that might make things a little bit difficult for my plants. Which is a problem, but I don't really have any better place to put them that I can think of. Maybe below, but I want to keep them up where the oxygen will be pretty high. We might do it for now, and we'll place these things with farm tiles, at least to some extent, but eventually, I think we are going to want to move all of this electronic stuff out of here and place it somewhere else, maybe up in this direction, which will take a little bit of time, but I think that's going to be for the best. Now, as far as the farm tiles, I think the rule is you want to have 5 mealwood plants per duplicant, so it looks like I have about 11 right now. We're probably going to need more. Can I indeed make this into some sort of a greenhouse? That's kind of what I want to know, though. Now, let's cancel that, because you only need 2 height in order to make these work. That said, how does that work as far as gases and breathability? I actually don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Close to here in the middle. I'm going to cancel this, and we'll replace this with a ventilation shaft at some point, just so the air is better able to flow up to these plants. I think that might work. Kind of hard to say for sure. Let's go ahead and then deconstruct this thing. So the meal wood here is ready to go, or rather the meal lice. What I want to do is go to consumables and forbid anyone from eating the meal lice. I want to be able to convert that into proper lice loaf, and we are going to need to get some sort of a kitchen going pretty soon. We also can go ahead and build the compost piles so we can fertilize a little bit better, and we will do that. Place them down here. Again, I'm not too worried about the spread of germs. What the crud is this thing? A Dreco. He's happy and wild and unreachable. It's some sort of a weird mutant sheep full of cancerous tumors. I'm horrified. It also knows how to walk up walls and upside down, which I find even more disturbing somehow. Weird. Okay. Well, I imagine that's something that we will want to consider ranching at some point. For the storage, let's set this to all but except for the polluted dirt. I do not want to keep any of that there. And one thing they added in, which is really nice, is you can copy the settings of one storage compartment and just apply it to a bunch of them. Saves me so much time. I do like that a lot. All right, let's go ahead and plant mealwood. We happen to have a lot of seeds, which is really darn nice. Actually, we can do the same thing here. Copy settings, apply to all these, boom! Hey, look at that! Oh, that's convenient. I like that a lot. Yes, sleep, my little duplicants. Sleep until you can't sleep no more. So they are in a barracks, which does give them a slight morale bonus. Can we actually see their status? Is this a thing? Germs, properties. High morale, which is reducing stress. So he does have high morale. Decor expectations. Huh. I think there may be a way to see all of that. I'm just not sure what it is. Hey, look. More mealwood. Let's harvest that. More research done. We have interior decor. Let's go for things like plumbing and ventilation, finish off some of the basics. And down in this area, I could get a simple flower pot, which isn't going to do much, but if it makes them a little bit happier and gives them a place to hang out during their break, that's not the worst thing in the world, right? I don't think so. We might want to turn this into the mess hall. Get some tables, someplace for them to eat, maybe place a kitchen over here as well. A little far away from my power generation, but I'm kind of okay with that. Let's see. I want to get some floors kind of planned out there. Is this granite? It is, so I can't actually mine through that. We'll try doing something like this for now. See how this goes. And then, yeah, I do want to try making this into some place to eat. So we will place some mess tables. 1, 2, 3, 4 for now. Plus a little bit more walls and things here. Now, we do need to get ventilation tiles as quick as we can because this is going to make it a little difficult for the gases to flow between the rooms. Because we're actually enclosing our base off way more than I used to, but I'm doing so trying to get a whole bunch of different bonuses that we didn't used to have in this game. So, yeah, that is going to get a little bit complicated, but we can try to make this work. This does need to get swept up pretty quick. Can we get refrigeration? What's involved in that? I think that's agriculture. Yeah. It's a little expensive in terms of power, but it would be good to get. Let's see. Air systems. We need to get to pressure management so I can get those air tiles and help the gases flow a little bit better. No seed selected. Fix that. Briar seeds. Yay! It's gonna be very pretty. Let's actually try sweeping up this area as well. If we're going to have people hang out in this room, I want it to look as nice as possible. The other thing we should be doing is sweeping up in areas where I know people are going to be spending a lot of time working, like the research station, like the kitchen when we do have that ready to go. You know, that sort of thing is going to be important. Let's go to food. A microbe musher is something we know we need. Go ahead and place that there. Now, we do have to run a lot of cables. A little expensive, but we'll do this. Whoop. Whoops, did I run out of copper? Oh no! I think I ran out of copper one tile away. Oh, that's just unfortunate. We actually do need to start converting some of the carbon dioxide into oxygen. Now, I do think the oxygen deoxidizers, sorry, algae deoxidizers might be better in the sense that they really cost you electricity in algae as opposed to water and algae and plus require a lot more maintenance. It's kind of a leave it and forget it thing. But we also have a lot of carbon dioxide to just go ahead and convert directly. I'll try the algae terrarium, but realistically, yeah, I think we're going to end up using the deoxidizers for most of the game. Still, this will be a little bit helpful. Hey, another duplicate is available. Wonderful. Who do we got? Really good cook who doesn't want to be a cook. Supply is only eh. Whoa, what a researcher. 7 learning and want to be research? I think you're the one we want. Can't build. I'm okay with that. All right, let's rename you. We're going to name you Main Marco. I don't think that I've used that name already. Yep, we're going to print you, and you're going to be the new guy. Okay, Main Marco, you're going to be a research assistant. Nightman, I'm so sorry, but you need to cancel that job and return your hat. You will be Crap, what else do you even like? I guess we could have you actually still be a research assistant. That's kind of okay. You do actually have 6 learning now. It has gone up for you. So we have 2 researchers. Okay, that's still not the worst thing in the world, because we'll be able to start getting through the tech a little bit faster. A little concerned about the heat generation down here, but otherwise, not too bad. I think we do now have access to the tiles that I'm looking for, do we? No, airflow tiles. That's what we're working on right now. Oh, we're about to finish it. Okay. Well, if I just waited 30 seconds, or less. Come on, Nightman. There we go. Now we can place the airflow tiles. All right, let's do exactly that. I want to make sure that the air is able to flow. Oh, and we're out of metal again. The air has to be able to flow, so that these people will be able to breathe. We're going to need more metal somehow. I need to work my way up to getting some of this copper. We can arrange that. That's doable. Oh, this is odd. Water cooler is awaiting material delivery? Interesting. So, even though we do actually have the right room, the recreation room, for some reason no one is delivering water to the water cooler. That might be a bug. Might be a bug, actually, and we won't be able to get people to go quite to the room that I wanted them to. Well, that's disappointing. So my only other option at that point would be to actually possibly move it up into here and make this into my recreation room somehow, which would require moving the supercomputers and stuff out of here. Because this is where they seem to be naturally congregating anyway, and I do want to give them a morale bonus. So we might have to do that, which is awkward, and I hate to do it, but if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. Okay, we have a microbe musher, which means I now can set this to continuously make lice loaf whenever that is an option. And you are set to cook a bit. Let's make that the top priority. Main Marco, you were a researcher, right? So we don't want to actually have LP Danilo the 5th. I just call you LP, whatever. We don't want to have you doing any more of the learning. I mean, you're good at it, but no, let's not do that. Let's actually make you discouraged from it. We'll make this a slighter higher priority for you, since you are indeed the architect. Just want to make sure that everyone's doing things that are corresponding to their job, if possible. And then whatever their talents are. Whatever natural talents they might actually have. All right, let's please get some more of these algae deoxidizers going, because holy crud. We're having some oxygen problems. I didn't really set up a whole load of algae terrariums. Maybe I should have, but I did not. This will certainly help, though. Hey, our first round of mealwood is coming to fruition already. That was pretty quick. Setting up a whole new set of farm tiles. I think this will be enough to tide us over for at least a while. We'll see, though. Yeah, that's a pretty good amount of food. All right, the microbe musher should be able to keep us fed for a while, at least. So we're sustainable on that front. Oxygen, I think now between the 2 of these plus the terrarium, we are actually producing enough. Now it's just kind of a matter of getting it to distribute throughout the base the way we want. But that might be a little bit trickier. Even so, though, I think we're making some pretty solid progress here. A little disappointed about the recreation room. Probably should actually create a ration box over here now that I think about it. That would be smart. Let's see. Furniture, no. Where is storage? I assume we can build a new... Maybe it's under food. There it is. Ration box. Let's go ahead and set that thing up over here. I don't think that this actually ruins the mess hall, so we can actually not have to separate our kitchen entirely. That's fine. This guy really likes, by the way, the muckroot or whatever these things are called. He was just staring at those things like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. I love it so much. You do you, man. I'm glad you're happy. Good for you. Okay, looks like we managed to finish up a little bit more research. Now we have air systems, which means we do have access to the electrolyzer. Electrolyzer. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. I think we'll go for internal combustion next, because I think I'm having a lot of power problems, and we will want to set up some sort of a more sufficient cold generation system if possible. The good news is I actually do see a fair bit of hydrogen sitting around, which we will be able to access and use that for hydrogen power generation eventually. The only downside is everything is so darn hot. We might need to research insulation a little bit earlier than usual this time around. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Dusk cap. What is this thing? I bet she is delicious. There's a good couple of them down here, too. Huh. And we'll come back to all that later. So I think this is a good place to end this first video. So we're getting a lot of the basics set up and running here. We do have a good farm system. We have enough oxygen coming through. We're putting together some rooms in the form of barracks, mess hall, latrine. I'm going to rebuild some stuff over here with the printing pod so that we will be able to turn this into a rec room, since for some reason the water cooler doesn't work. And we're going to have to move all this supercomputer stuff somewhere else. Somewhere where we can handle the heat a little bit better. Maybe place it down here or something, I'm not sure. I want to keep it at least a little bit away from my farm. We could place it over here, I guess. Heat does rise. So maybe that's okay? I don't know. We'll think about that. But anyway, good progress, good first start. We'll see how far we can get in the next 3 weeks. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Hit that notify bell to see my future videos, and I will see you guys next time.